I go hard in the Gideon. Got to fulfill children.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Happy Saturday
Good morning.
to
Good morning.
everyone on all platforms, whether you are joining us from Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, uh, Clubhouse. We want to say welcome and good Saturday morning. Thank you for joining Forston Consultants as we talk to you about what we know best, right? And that is the ILF model, the housing model, the HRA, the Housing Referral Agency. I am Shay Forston, co-founder and co-host of our live sessions at Forston Consultants, and I am also the founder and president of the Angela Denise Foundation, which is a 501c3 nonprofit organization here in the Orlando area, where we take women that have been through homeless situations and sex trafficking and domestic violence, all of that stuff, and we house them utilizing the ILF or independent living facility model. So today I'm excited to share my experience with you all, but that's just a little bit about who I am, and I'm going to throw it over to Derek. Derek, go ahead and introduce yourself to the beautiful people here on
Absolutely.
the screen.
Thank you so much, Miss Shay. I appreciate that. And Shay, thank you so much for being beautiful and always being here with me. I appreciate that. So, guys, good morning. As I always say, man, you guys had a lot of choices of where you could be, but y'all chose to be here, and we super appreciate that. My name is Derek Forston. I'm the owner and operator of Forston Consultants, where my family and we go all over the world showing people this concept and this model of housing the homeless and the displaced. But we've also, along the way and through the years, we've learned a different concept, which allows people to also do what we do. But what if you can't buy a house? What if you can't rent or lease a house? We talk about every Saturday, how do you house the homeless and the displaced using the Uber model? So literally, guys, about 45 minutes before coming on, it kind of hit me that we're literally doing something in terms of a business structure very similar to what Uber is doing. And I'm going to dig into how genius I think the Uber model is and how this is very similar, again, to the Uber model, because we teach you guys every Saturday how to start your own housing program without the need for property. So we often say on Saturdays that you don't need real estate, you need the relationship. So I'm going to show you guys how Uber and what we do is often very similar, because Uber doesn't own any cars, guys.
Right.
Neither does the Airbnb model. So we're going to talk a lot about, in fact, the next 3 or 4 Saturdays, I'm going to really hone in on the Uber model and on the Airbnb model, because I think it's absolute genius that both of those models provide a service or they provide something, but they actually don't provide the thing that makes it work.
Yeah.
They use relationships with everyday people just like us. So a big part of what I'm going to be talking about, and even what I'm going to even be praying over people before we leave, is that God give you guys ideas that not only change your life and your community, but also changes the people that you're surrounded by. So again, if you've ever wanted to house the homeless or the displaced, and God has always put on your heart to house people, but you couldn't really figure out how to do it because you didn't know how to buy the property or rent or lease one, you're in the right place. So we always tell people, man, if you love God, love people, and love real estate, you are in the absolute right place. We have a lot of things going on, guys. We're super excited. The Angela Denise Foundation is bursting through the seams in the community. I'm super proud of Shay and what she's doing. Her new house, her new rehabbed real estate project will be taking somewhere probably between 7 to 9 different women from homeless to hopeful. So we're proud of that. This is the first time that God has allowed us to buy a property to run this ILF model. Most of you guys know Shay and I rent, and we lease a ton of these properties to do what we do, and we want to teach it to you. But God has blessed us, man. We tell you guys the goal of being in this is eventually we want you guys to own the facility. And that's exactly where we are now. So we're super proud of that. And if you're new to us, welcome. We appreciate you being here. We also have a free gift for all of our new people. Shay is getting ready to put on the screen a phone number that you can text the word new, NEW2, and we got a free gift for you, right? Just for saying thank you for being here, and also to further your education about what this is. Also feel free to give that gift also and share it with family and friends. Your bishop, your pastor, your church leadership needs to know about what this is, because we truly believe all of the needs come to the church anyway. And that's why we teach this model to the church, to pastors and bishops, because as you guys know nowadays, which was a little bit different back in the 80s and the 90s and the 70s, where if you was a pastor, that was pretty much all you did, right? Was you led a congregation of people. But now today, and the way things have changed over time, most pastors, guys, are also businessmen, right? They're into real estate and they're looking for ways to expand the kingdom of God. They're looking for ways to bring in more income to the church. So this model is absolute genius for churches. And again, guys, don't forget, you can be an affiliate to all of this, right? So if your pastor and your bishop don't know about it, you need to become an affiliate and introduce this to your pastor. Also, if you're hearing this for the first time and you're a pastor or you're in church leadership, my team and I will travel no matter where you live at, right? We'll travel in all 50 states and we also travel abroad. If you want us to break this down to your church and your ministry, to how to further your ministry and the gospel, and all of the great things that you're probably already doing in your community, how can you add something like this, which can help you again with your ministry and your community? Because it's just another part of ministry, right? But it can also help you financially. Let's not hide that, right? So especially if you're a smaller church and maybe your tithe and offering isn't coming in the way that it's supposed to be coming in from the members, imagine you bringing on something like this to your church where you're meeting two needs. You're meeting the housing need in the community, but you're also meeting that financial need that every church needs to further the gospel, right? Even though the gospel and the word of God is free, it takes money to expand that and to get it out further.
Yes.
No different from when Shay and I are teaching this model that we do. To get this outside of Orlando, we have to go live on YouTube every Saturday, Monday, and Tuesday. And that's why people know us from California, Georgia, Idaho, Wisconsin, right? Maryland, Baltimore, New York, California, New Jersey, things of that nature. So again, thank y'all so much for being here. We super appreciate it. We also thrive on questions. So we love questions. So if you guys have questions about this model and in terms of what it is, we want you guys to ask. I'm going to turn it back over to Shay for 2 seconds, and then we're going to jump right into how do you house people without a house? Just like the way Uber is driving people all over the city, but Uber doesn't own any cars.
It's the asset.
They're leveraging relationships. So Shay, I'm gonna give it to you, and then I'll jump back in whenever you want me to.
I love that concept, Derek, because again, it's leveraging assets that are in abundance, right? People not only are leveraging the asset of others, it's a partnership. You're building partnerships. You're coming together for a common goal or a common good. So prime example with the Uber model, that's exactly what's happening, right? People are coming together to meet a specific need, but also in that people are benefiting from that particular partnership, right? So with that being said, the housing model, the HRA, the ILF model, same thing. There's no big difference in that whole leveraging someone or leveraging an asset to meet a need in your community. And that's literally what we did at the Angela Denise Foundation, Derek. We met the need by partnering with investors, with real estate agencies and agents, and they've been able to assist us in acquiring property, right? To be able to take women from homeless to hopeful, to be able to help women that have escaped tragic situations and circumstances. And that's pretty much the Uber model, right? The Angela Denise Foundation knows that there's a need that needs to be met, and that is housing for a specific population type. It don't matter what population you're looking at, but housing is an essential. So what we did is, again, we used the Uber model, partnered with those, whether it's an investor, whether it's a realtor, whether it's, just people in our community. And we've provided now an opportunity to house individuals that would normally not have the ability or even the access to the finances, or the background checks, all of that stuff that they would need to acquire a regular living accommodation. So the Uber model is exactly it. So I love how you did that. That was sweet.
Pretty cool, right?
That was sweet. Yeah. That was
Because
sweet.
Shay, I just thought it was, and again, you guys know I always say this, right? I'm no genius, and there's nothing new under the sun. But can you guys imagine the meeting that they had one day when somebody in a group of investors sat around a table and said, "Hey guys, let's create a transportation company, but we're never going to buy any cars."
Right.
That guy sounded like a dadgum fool.
Initially.
Turned out he's a genius.
Yeah, initially.
But can you guys imagine? God has blessed me enough that I've actually had a conversation with a gentleman that had the opportunity to invest in Uber from day one when nobody knew about it. He didn't take it. He thought it was crazy.
Yep.
I'm going to say that again real slow because somebody's going to miss this story, Shay.
Yeah.
God has blessed me to be able to speak, and I won't say know them like that, but
Right, you
I've
had a
spoken to
conversation.
somebody
Yeah.
and had a conversation to invest in Uber, EBER. And if you don't know what Uber is, then you're probably
No,
sleeping
you be.
under a
You
rock
said
anyway.
E. You.
You, right? I
Yeah,
thought I
you
said
said E.
UBER.
You
No,
said E.
I said E. Forgive me, y'all. UBER, Uber. But guys, again, can you imagine the concept of that? Because that's what a housing referral agency is, and we're going to get to that.
Mhm.
Because if God has put on your heart to house people, but you can't buy a property or rent one or lease one, the HRA is going to be the next best thing for you. And every Saturday, we teach people how to house the homeless, and you don't need real estate, you need relationship. Back to the
Yeah.
Uber story. Shay, can you imagine? I'm going to say it one more time. The day that all of those people sat at the table and the thought leader said, hey, guys, let's create a transportation company, but let's leverage other people. Let's not go out and buy 10,000 cars, 5,000 cars and put them in Florida, Georgia, Idaho, California, New York, Boston. Let's leverage other people that already have these cars and allow them, and we'll build the platform.
Yeah.
That's why digitalflowsolutions.net is so powerful and how we teach y'all every Tuesday. You need a good CRM system. Shay, all of this started from their software, Shay. Even though the idea of that house, of the car and the transportation was great, Shay, none of this still happens without that
software.
system and the software.
Software and system.
So we'll talk about that probably Tuesday
Later,
of
yeah.
how that's powerful on this same model.
Yeah.
But again, guys, can you imagine? And my friend, I'm gonna call him my friend, was sitting in this room. He said, man, this is dumb. How are we going to start a transportation company,
With no
kind of
transportation.
like a taxi, but we're not going to buy any cars? That is the most dumbest thing I've ever heard of. But lo and behold, this guy was so smart, because what he realized, Shay, is and what a lot of businesses do, especially a lot of big businesses. In fact, my real estate coach is teaching me this right now in terms of you don't have to do everything by yourself, guys. You got to build relationships.
You have to. You have to.
And that's what the HRA is. You guys don't have houses. But what if you're able to go in to present to all of these hospitals that you provide housing, but you leverage Shay and I?
Yeah.
Shay is rehabbing right now a 5-bed, 3.5-bed ILF that'll be done in less than 15 days. Probably less than that.
Yes. Yes. And
Pressure washing starts today, Shay.
Yeah.
Painting starts, I think, tomorrow and Monday.
Yeah, tomorrow.
The roof is completely done. So if you guys are being nosy and watching our Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, please be nosy. But back to the point. Being a housing referral agency simply allows you to house the homeless, but you never need a house. You just got to leverage other people. Just like my buddy thought it was a dumb idea to invest in a company like Uber, because they said, we're going to start a transportation company and we're going to be similar to taxis, but we're not going to buy or invest in any cars. We're going to leverage other people, and we're going to build a platform which allows everybody to go to the platform, book it, and allow those people to arrange it together to make it happen. Lord have mercy. How genius was that?
Saw the glass half.
Somebody, can I get 10 people to put a number 7 in the chat if you think that Uber model is genius and how you now understand that the Uber model and the HRA is just alike? Put a number 7 in the chat if you think that's genius, how they built the company literally on depending on relationships of other people. Jump in there, Shay. Wow.
It's just significant, right? It shows the importance of partnerships. And I think that's probably the biggest thing that I would take away from that model, is that, you said it earlier, no man's an island, right? When you try to do things alone, that's where burnout comes in. That's where that instability factor is consistent, and you see that things don't work, things don't grow, things don't mature. So the more you grow, you realize that in order to grow, you have to surround yourself with the right people, right? And that's all going to be based on relationship. And this is exactly what that Uber model does. And it just pretty much put the framework of something that's a true principle, Derek, of like it just put the principle of working together, teamwork, right? No man
relationship. We
right.
talk about that all the time.
We weren't made to live alone.
What's that saying, Shay, about the island thing?
No man's an island, right?
No man's an island.
And it's this is it. Like, to me, it's like Uber put on a spotlight on the importance of relationship and working together as partnership. And then you see different models branching off from that, and it's so funny to just see it. And we look at it from different perspectives, but everybody has to look at it from the perspective. I think everybody should look at it from the perspective of teamwork. because teamwork honestly made this dream work, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a cliche, but in all honesty, teamwork made this dream work. They had to partner with individuals that had vehicles, that were looking for another source of income, but didn't have all of the regulations or whatever requirements it was to become a taxi driver. So look at the difference. So there was a need that was met, and also multiple needs were met. So I land there, Derek. I mean, again, let me just do a quick room reset for everybody. I want to say hello and a big shout out to the one and only The Pill Method. Derek is streaming in live from Instagram. Hey, Don, we want to say
What's
hello.
going on, Mr. Don? Good to see you, big bro.
Good to see you. I also want to say thank you to everybody on our Instagram platform that is hanging out with us this morning to talk more about ILFs, utilizing what we call the Uber model, right?
Absolutely.
So, and to all of our family in Clubhouse, welcome, welcome, welcome. I did post the link. Derek does have a slideshow that he'll be showing a little later in the conversation. So if you want to come on over, use that link at the top of the room in Clubhouse. So pop on over to YouTube. We'll love to see you here as well. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in any of the chats. I am manning the chats, so I'm trying to be in all places at one time. So bear with me. Again, if you have any questions or if you are new to us, please don't miss out on your free gift. Text the word new. That's the word new. You're going to text that to 407 326 0086. Text the word new. We have a free gift for you just to say thank you for sharing your Saturday morning with us and diving into more conversation. So Derek, back to you.
Absolutely. So again, I'll also do a quick room reset for anybody that's new that may not know who we are, what we do. To make a long story short, we got a webinar that we want all of you guys to watch, right? That explains everything that we'll talk about today in a little bit more of a structured setting, right? Today, I treat you guys like family. We sit back, drink a cup of coffee, and we just going to learn together today. But after today, I want everybody to go to forstonconsultants.com/webinars. That webinar will change your life and your community when you watch it with your family or your church family. Then set up a free strategy call. But what we real good at is we come on live every Monday, Tuesday, and Saturday, and we break it down and we answer all of your questions. So to make a long story short, I used to be a social worker, barely making ends meet, making about $28,000 a year. I always wanted to help people, and I always wanted to be involved in real estate, right? And again, to make a long story short, because I can tell this one story for about an hour and 45 minutes. God literally showed me everything that I wanted to do and wanted to be in life through somebody else. So again, watch this. I was the social worker. I wanted to have my own, what I thought back then was a group home. But the longer you hang around us, Miss Tina, you're going to find out that we don't call these group homes. These are called independent living facilities, or just simply a housing program or shared housing. But God showed me a lady that was doing exactly what I wanted to do. And y'all, she was making $41,000 a month doing it. But the only difference is, y'all, she was housing these people in rats and roaches. So when we talk to you guys about today of starting your own housing program, and it don't take a license, you don't have to own the property, all that's true. I saw a lady, and y'all, she showed me her bank account because I was the social worker referring all the clients to her. But y'all, when I found out, I said, ooh, I got to get in this. And y'all, she was making $41,000 a month, mistreating God's people, housing them in rats and roaches and filth and squalor and dirtiness and nastiness. So I was like, God, I want to get in this. And God, first of all, if you let me get in it, I won't hide it from people the way everybody's trying to hide this from me. Because as the social worker, y'all, nobody wanted to teach me how to do this. Right? So I said, God, first of all, if you let me get in it, God, and you let me master this thing, I'll teach it to other people. I said, God, and the other thing I'm going to do is that we're not going to house these people in squalor. So that's why we're having this open house in about 15 days, because we want case managers and social workers to see our product in terms of what we offer. And it looks a lot like this. When you guys see this picture on this screen, 3 people just give me a thumbs up if you can see that picture. But guys, I can show you other pictures of this same setup where roaches are running all over the place, where the mattresses are on the ground, no sheets, no pillow, no comforter, no bed set. It's just a bare mattress on the ground. Y'all, it'll break your heart. But again, I'm trying to speak the story because I'm supposed to be moving on from this. You're going to watch the webinar and find out all of that bad stuff that we saw. And guys, again, I'm no genius. I barely graduated high school. I almost stopped that because I couldn't pass that little test. And my mama said, boy, you're going to give me a high school diploma. Whether you go to college or not, that's on you, Derek. But you're going to give me that high school diploma, Derek. Finish high school. And thank God for a great wife. My wife tricked me to go to college. Tricked me. And we'll talk about that later. And that's a funny story. But Shay tricked me to go to college, y'all. 4 years later, I walk across the stage in Jacksonville, Florida with a degree in human services. Watch me speak the story up, Shay. God planted me on this job where my job was to refer people out every day, Miss Shanita. She an MSW. So, Miss Shanita, you already know where I'm going with this.
Wow.
Shanita, this ain't foreign to you. Shanita, I'm going to have to break this down to everybody else in this room except me and you. Me, you, and Shay, the only people kind of know what this is. Now, I'm jokingly saying that. But, Shanita, when I saw those rats and roaches, and God still allowed that lady to make 41 grand a month, I said, Lord, have mercy. What am I doing? I said, God, you got to get me in this. And to make a long story short, I went through a lot of bumps, the bruises, the lawsuits, the Channel 8 news. Because Miss Shanita, nobody taught this to me now. Shanita thinking I'm going to get to a part of the story where I say, well, they finally taught me.
No, not even close.
Ms. Dobson, they didn't teach me nothing.
Not even close.
It took lawsuits, bad stuff to happen. I made the Channel 8 and the Channel 9 news because y'all, I did this the wrong way. I didn't know what I was doing. But through the bumps and the bruises, because God put it on my heart. So who was I to make the excuse? Well, won't nobody teach me? Won't nobody show me? Miss Rita, if nobody would have ever showed me, so what? You got to keep it moving, right? And I'll say today, I'm glad she didn't show me. Because maybe I would have thought rats and roaches was okay because they homeless. Maybe I would have thought it was okay to kind of treat them subpar. The devil is a liar. These are God's people too. They just hit a bump in the road because, guys, if truth be told, a lot of us are just one bump in the road, one paycheck away from being these very same people that we're housing.
We see it on a regular basis.
Can I get 5 people to put a heart in the chat if you're feeling this conversation already? Because again, today's whole room is about if you want to house people, if you want to start your own program, but you can't afford a house yet.
Miss Shanita just said,
we're going to show you how to do this still without having to actually own or lease or rent the property. Oh, she said, don't forget about the bed bugs. Miss Shanita, I seen it all. And Shanita, it broke my heart. And when that lady bragged, Shanita, and told me she made 41 grand a month, and like most people, they just talk about it. This woman pulled her phone out. What's going on, Mom Forston? I see my mom here too.
That was rough.
Stay hop in there.
That was rough. I mean, y'all, to come into your house and hear your husband on the phone with someone that he's thinking is gonna give him information.
Give me the game.
And literally
change my life. I thought she was gonna
start yelling and screaming because she could hear him writing. She could hear the paper and the pen, him writing, and she went off. I said, if you don't hang up that phone, we're gonna have a problem.
And y'all, that day, I actually thought she was finna start telling me stuff, right? So the little stuff she was saying, you know, I'm writing it down. She heard the pencil scraping on that paper. She's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Don't write that down. Just listen to me. I said, ooh, this must be powerful. And y'all, I'll admit, that was before I found out about the $41,000 a month. And I always ask this question. So for Shanita or anybody that's new to us, right? If you made $41,000 a month, would that change your life a little bit? Because see, the reason why I asked that, I don't know y'all income. Somebody might say, well, Derek, that's pennies. But to me, making $28,000 a year.
Financially where you were, right? To where what you're seeing is
think about that
monthly. That's redonkulous.
Can somebody type in the word change my life? If you made $41,000 a month, would that change your life a little bit?
Shoot, I'm gonna put it in the chat for me.
And guys, that's when I got into this game. And it took me 2 years and I lost 60 pounds trying to figure out. And I made a bunch of mistakes. But y'all, eventually we got it. So now, through the teaching of what we do, we have over 300 of these, and we're over in now 30 different states. And that doesn't mean me and Shay.
No, right.
That means the people that have come through our teaching, our training, and our coaching. They become family to us. So every time you get one, Miss Dobson, we get one. When you get 5 more in your city, we count that to our number. So right now we're a little over 300, and we're in 30 different states now where we're teaching this to where people are actively doing it. People that we've taught now, that's not kind of people that just come here every Monday, every Tuesday, every Saturday, and just listen and just take off running with it. But the people that actually have taken the coaching, like tons of those people. But watch this, because every Saturday is catered to this. Because somebody said, well, Derek, I can't buy no house. Right. Derek, I can't rent one either. Because I heard you telling people, Derek, you can rent one of these places. And it looks something like this. Y'all, this is one of my first ILF. In fact, that was the one across the street from the first one.
Yeah, that's still big.
It's not some big 50-box building, 100-unit building, y'all. It looks a lot like this stuff. And I always tell people, don't mind trash day, y'all. But in that side of that mobile home, it's beautiful. Now somebody got bougie right here. We get big ones like this too. But this is what they look like. But back to what we're talking about today, proven strategies for becoming a housing referral agency. Now, I took 27 minutes to bring y'all right here. What is an HRA, Shay? A housing referral agency. That means you have the desire to house the homeless or start your own housing program, but you can't buy a house, you can't lease one, and you can't rent one just yet. But for all my people on Instagram, lucky for y'all, God gave me an idea of teach people how to house folks, and they never need the real estate, but they can lean on relationship the same way that the Uber does. Uber model is that we're not going to buy a bunch of cars. We're going to lean on relationship. People like Tiffany and Katara, right? People like Miss Margaret, Miss Glenda. Let Miss Margaret use her car. Somebody goes on the website. Miss Margaret drops her car off at the Walmart.
Now that's Toro. You switched up on me.
Oh, no, I switched the shade.
You switched up on me, big.
I went from Turo to Uber, right?
You went from Uber to Turo.
But Uber is the taxi one, right? Shay, they're going to pick me up.
They're going to pick you up.
So instead of calling Yellow Cab, why would the Turo do?
You sure did.
But Turo's the same thing, Shay.
Same concept.
Think about it. Same concept. Matter of fact, I'm going to switch it because, Shay, you and I did Turo.
We did.
Shay, we went and got a bunch of cars on credit.
A whole bunch of cars.
Put them on a website. And somebody else who's on vacation in Orlando, they go to a website, book my car. We drop the car off at Walmart. We make $400. Some family enjoys my car for 8 days.
Yep.
God, that is genius to me.
Partnership again.
The Airbnb model, same thing, Shay. Shay, me and you moved out of our house today and post our house on Airbnb, it'll be booked by 3 days probably.
Yeah.
Like, guys, that's the same model. So think of these companies, guys, that are like Uber, Turo. Think about things like that, guys. So even, okay, I'm going to slow it down, right? A lot of you all have been buying just our business coaching lately, even though we coach people and teach people how to run an ILF and how to house the homeless and the displaced and all of that. We coach in a lot of different areas of just business, right? And a lot of the conversations this week, and that's probably where it came from, I'm teaching people to start certain businesses that are like Uber and that are also like Turo, to where you can leverage another company or another person to make your business idea come true.
Right.
Now that's just a side note, but think how genius Uber is and how Turo is, how they're leveraging relationships, guys. This slide says, why would you want to become an HRA? Because God told you to house people. And the first excuse came out your mouth or in your head was, God, you want me to house people, but God, I'm barely making ends meet myself. And God, I don't have no house. I can barely pay my rent. No problem. That's why the HRA was invented. It stands for Housing Referral Agency. The next slide here says, what you going to call yourself? A housing specialist, a housing provider, a housing solution, a housing referral agency. But what I really want you to do is put a name to it, like Right Solutions, Second Chance, the Angela Denise Foundation. One of the first things that I want you guys to do is create a business, right? I don't want you guys doing this per se out of your own personal name, meaning you yourself. We want you to create a business eventually, right? Kind of from day one.
Yeah.
We teach you that this can happen so fast. You guys can implement this tomorrow. But in other words, slow down a little bit and let's get a business, some kind of LLC. Now, I'm not giving tax advice here, but most of us where we live at, you guys can go online and get an LLC in about 3 days. Ink File. They just changed their name to something a little different. It's called what, Shay?
Biz Ease or Biz something like that.
Google Ink File and their new name will pop right up. It's called Bees or Busies or something like that. But you guys can sign up for that on a Monday and get it back like Wednesday.
Yeah.
So that's what we mean by start a business. And guys, one of my biggest mistakes in this ministry was putting leases and doing things in Derek Forston's name. Dumbest thing ever. Lawsuit came behind that, Miss Shanita. Katara, you know, when me and you talked, that was one of the lawsuits I went through. $30,000 lawsuit because Derek wanted to put his name on the lease. Yep. Derek wanted to start things without being a business. Derek wasn't structured right as an LLC or as a business for protection. Next step is come up with a name. I often tell people today, don't use the word housing like I did. When you know better, you do better.
Yeah.
What I know today, I should have called my program Second Chance Solutions or Second Chance Enterprise, not necessarily Second Chance Housing. Because housing to the bank and real estate to the bank is a high risk industry. And y'all, I love to go to the bank and ask for a bunch of money. And if I have a name like Second Chance Solutions, they're going to respect that more than Second Chance Housing. Housing puts me into real estate. Solutions puts me into more of a consultant role. I could be anything as the word solutions or enterprise or consultants, right? So we're not going to pick a name that's going to throw us off. Yeah. That next part, very quickly, create a logo, and everybody needs an internet presence. That's why Digital Flow Solutions, it should be the answer for all of y'all. DigitalFlowSolutions.net. Shay, put it in the chat. They'll build your website. They'll host it. And they got all of the goodies that are attached to this website that can make your business go to the top when people are Googling housing or whatever you do. Remember, guys, I'm a business coach overall. So I don't care if you bake chocolate chip cookies. I don't care if you fry chicken and French fries and set it out your back window. We can make your business go from nobody knowing you to blowing it through the roof. And I'll admit, a lot of that starts with DigitalFlowSolutions.net, which is the website creation tool that we use to build your website, your logo, and to host your website, and to create automations within your website, automate your Google reviews, and capture all kind of customers that are looking for what you do. And again, I don't care if you sell tacos on Tuesdays or you sell pizza on Fridays or you're a consultant for real estate. Doesn't matter. Digital Flow Solutions can help you with that. And I'll admit, guys, today, the biggest cheat code to this HRA program for us is the virtual assistant.
Yeah.
So when Jess, my VA, answers the phone, because today I'll admit I don't answer the phone for Second Chance Housing, but Jess, my assistant, who was off Thursday and Friday of this week because she took a little bit of a vacation, Jess runs my program now. She's the cheat code to everything that we do at Second Chance Housing.
Yep.
And if you don't know what a virtual assistant is, it's a remote worker that usually is working out of the country so that it can be very affordable. So Jess works for our company. She started at $4 an hour. She got a raise about 8-9 months later. Jess is a little bit, up there now, but starting at $5 an hour, we get our VAs from VA 101. Shaya also put that in the website in the chat for you. So if you need some help in your business or your life, starting at $5 an hour, you can hire a personal assistant from www.va101.co. Not .com, but .co. Hop in there, Shay.
So I do want to answer this question from Ms. Dobson. She says, do you have authority, or rights to make changes on the websites? Yes. So anybody that comes into Digital Flow Solutions, we give you training, and then our team also. So if you have any changes that you want to modify or make on the website, our team is available to do that for you. Or if you would like for your VA or for someone that is a part of your team, your business, to learn the intricacies of even that back end of making those edits, we can show them as well. So yes, Ms. Dobson, we can definitely do that.
Good stuff. Hey, what's going on, family? I hope you guys are enjoying this information, but just in case if you was wondering, how could you get more one-on-one coaching just like this? First of all, you can ask just by typing it in the chat, or you can visit forstonconsultants.com/IMB. Again, the IMB stands for ILF Mastery Blueprint. So again, if you want one-on-one coaching, let us know. This is exactly what we do. And again, don't spend all your time in this room today without asking questions. As you see, we're giving out a lot of great information. So make sure you ask your questions just to make sure that you fully understand it. And then also don't forget, we give you guys a free strategy call. So we want you to watch our webinar. That's it. Also at forsterconsultants.com/webinars, but also soak up a lot of this information that we're giving you guys on YouTube, and then schedule a free strategy call so that we can get on the phone to talk about how fast can we get you started. Let's get back to the show. All right, good stuff. So big shout out to my assistant and my program manager, Jess, who again, about 12 months ago, I gave my whole program over to Jess. So today I'm not responsible for the social media. I'm not responsible for answering the telephone. I'm not responsible for sending and receiving emails. I'm not as responsible as building the relationships in the community. Jess finds a lot of the relationships for us. And then Shay and I show up and we look like the heroes, bringing coffee and donuts to talk about our program. So that's how it's kind of done today. But in the beginning, it was Derek doing everything. Derek making all the calls. Derek going to all the hospitals. Derek speaking all over the place in every hospital in my city. But now today, especially like the last, I'll say 11 to 12 months, most of the new relationships now have been cultivated by Jess. And most of the people that have dealt with Jess thinks that Jess lives in Orlando. Jess lives in the Philippines, guys, 9,112 miles away from my doorstep, in a different culture, in a different time zone, in a different country. So again, Jess is from the Philippines. Some of our staff is from the Philippines. Some are from Nigeria. Some are from Pakistan. And we even have one over in Egypt. So again, having a staff that works overseas is also what makes this very affordable. So again, guys, to start this business or this ministry is very, very affordable, first of all. And we'll talk about how we also offer this as a business in a box. But again, in the beginning, it was only just me doing this. As we go through the bumps and the bruises and we make things better, because most of y'all want to do something like this, but you're tied down by a job. This VA, the virtual assistant, is the cheat code to making all of this happen while you're at your 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
Say hello to me, Joanne. Say hello to me, Katara. I'm naming people to you right now that we've taught this to, and they're in this room. They got a full-time job. They own multiple businesses, but they both have VAs. So guess who's filling their empty beds, right, while they're at work? Guess who's answering that telephone while they're at work? Guess who's responding to emails and building relationships in their community while they're at work?
Yeah, the virtual assistant.
Their assistant for $5 an hour. And again, just real quick before I give it back over to Shay, because I want to let Shay hop in too. How do you promote this thing, Shay? Most people think that when you start a business, Shay, you just announce it to a couple of friends in your family, in your church, and that's it. Shay, can you talk about the importance of the social media piece?
Wow. If people don't know you exist, they don't know to utilize your services, right? So this is so important. Getting the words out, connecting with people. Social media and these platforms and these outlets have given us that opportunity to gain access to people a lot faster, a lot more organically, and even being able to just get that word out of what you're doing and who you are, right? No longer are the days of where you have to literally really pay for, the television ad or, the radio ad, even though it is a plus. But this is a way to kind of create community around what you're doing and get the word out quickly so that people know who you are and the product or service that you provide. Not just a post on social media. It may be going live on social media. It may be having discussions about this within social media. That is how you promote what you do. Being an HRA, a housing referral agent, or an ILF provider, people need to know that. A lot of times it's like people say it's proof of concept. They want to see that you're actually doing what you say you're doing. And what better way than to see that than by you being having visibility online, whether it's social media, not whether, but social media, website, and all of those things connected helps you to get that word out. People are going to trust, but they're going to verify too, right? They're going to make sure that you are who you say you are. And as a business, as someone that is saying, this is what I do, we want to make sure that your branding, your business is out there so that people can truly see that this is what you are doing. marketing. This is your free opportunity to get some free marketing by using these platforms where a lot of people go and visit. A lot of people go to get information from social media. Derek, we learned something the other day, right? About social media that I just never paid attention to. Like, people shop on TikTok. I knew it was a TikTok shop,
It's
didn't
coming to new
realize, right?
Amazon.
But it's becoming, it's like it's turning into the new Amazon, right? Derek just said it, but the same thing. Like, these are things that people are looking. People spend so much time in social media and on social media platforms that they're looking for things. They're researching things even on social media now because you have the search filter. How, like, it's powerful that you've got to think of using all of these mechanisms, these softwares, these systems, these platforms to help you get your word out. So that is why it is so important to utilize these platforms, to have a brand, to have a presence so that people know when they are looking for you that you are available. The biggest thing that Derek and I have learned coming into this industry over the 7-8 years that we've been doing this is the importance of people knowing who you are.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of people don't know that this exists. So guess what? They're living in their cars. They're living at a friend's house on the couch. If they don't have access to your information, they don't have an opportunity to transition from homelessness to hopefulness. So promote, promote, promote. Get the word out. Be consistent in it. Be aggressive in it, but get the word out. Connect in communities. Do all sorts of things that you need to do so that people know you are a viable resource for your community when it comes to housing. I yield.
And that's it. Shay couldn't said it any better. Like, you're promoting that you are a housing provider. And don't worry about if you don't have a house, guys. Uber doesn't worry about if they have a car, right? Airbnb is not worried about that they don't have houses. Turo is never going to buy a car. Guys, there are platforms where they're leveraging other people to get their business done.
Yeah.
And guys, I want y'all to use me. Shay wants you to use hers. I'm telling y'all, Shay, how many times can I? And I wish Shay would have actually put a few of those pictures on the slide, because our real photographer, not my iPhone, took pictures yesterday. And I wish Shay can just show y'all the before and the after of how of these pictures of this rehab. Never mind the rehab. Who cares about that? What I'm telling you is that you guys can leverage Shay. And I'm going to talk about it today, but how do you research social workers and case manager where Shay lives? Because if Shay has got a 5-bed, 3-bath home that needs 9 women in it, why can't you be the liaison to that? Why can't you leverage Shay and tell social workers that, yep, I got a clean, lovely, nice, affordable environment. Here's a picture, and this is what it looks like.
I want to say something, Derek.
But you're leveraging Shay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Shay.
I know people probably saying, well, don't y'all have the houses? Don't you have all the relationships? This is the important part about the HRA that I think people miss out a lot. Relationship is exactly that. I may be able to nurture a relationship that is amazing with Katara, right? But Janine may be able to foster a relationship with Angela that's a little bit better than my relationship with Angela. And Angela would prefer to refer to Janine instead of coming to me. So it's all about that relationship. It's all about relationships, and people, it's not being cliquey, but people gravitate to other people a lot easier, and relationships are fostered a lot differently depending on the individual, depending on the background, depending on just the connection, that one thing. Right? That one thing that ignites you and makes you all look or that synergy that creates that synergy between the two people. So again, like, a lot of people probably saying, well, what's the purpose of being an HRA? That is the purpose. That is simply the purpose. Because when you get into this space, you'll realize that, you can keep growing relationships, but there may be relationships that Katara may be able to stabilize a lot more than I can because of my aggressive nature, right? Or it may be just the consistency of me not being available, right? Every time Katara calls me, it may be a hit and miss phone call, but Katara or Janine is always going to answer the phone. But Katara does have the access to the other phone that can get contact with me where other people can't. So it's all about making sure you just have, I know that was a lot to say, just relationships and nurturing relationships. People nurture and develop relationships so much differently that other people find that trust factor in other people before they do the other ones. So
Absolutely. And
yeah.
just one more time on that social media piece. If I can get 5 people just to put in the chat the word me, if you met me before we became family, if we met through social media, type in the word me. And that just goes to show you. Like all of these relationships say that we've even gained over the years, like the lovely people like the Tiffany's and the Kataras and the Angelas, and I'll get in trouble if I keep naming names, but
I know, right?
think of all of the people, but all of you didn't just know me. None of you live in my state. So how many of you all met me through social media, including YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, even TikTok? I don't know what's happening on TikTok, but a lot of people are finding us through TikTok now. And we've been putting things on TikTok for over a year, but it's just now starting to happen. So what does that mean, Shay? Consistency.
Yeah.
Shay, can you talk for 2 seconds about the person that think that just because they posted 3 times in this week and nothing happened? What's consistency means when it comes to social media, Shay?
Consistency is always going to be that thing that separates you from the haves and the have-nots, right? Consistency is something that shows your seriousness in what you're doing. The more you are consistent at a task, especially when it comes to promoting what you do, your brand, your identity, who you are and what you do, what services you offer, people can see that this is something that's going to have longevity. If you're somebody like, I'm going to be honest, like I've laid down music for the past 2 years because of building the brand of Forston Consultants. I know that Forston Consultants is going to be that thing that helps catapult the music, right? So I laid that down, but I've got to be consistent in Forston Consultants. So the whole thing is, if you continue to be consistent, people see the seriousness of what you are doing. I don't have people reaching out to me right now saying, hey, can I schedule you for an event from my music side? Because my music side is not consistent, other than Sundays where I dedicate that back to giving God honor and glory through worship, right? But again, there's the difference in that consistency. If when I'm consistent in the music, social media, and posting, I see a difference in what's being attracted towards me, the gigs, the opportunities, things look different. If you are not consistent, you do not have good outcomes. And that's consistent in a good way, because you can be consistent in very many ways. But when it comes to promoting your business and being consistent at that, you're going to show people that one, you're going to show up, because you're showing them that, hey, man, this person is hard to miss. You will be hard to miss with consistency. Very hard to miss. And then even with that, like, again, people are going to be watching. It's going to cause people to just watch. They're going to watch because they want to see, okay, let's see how long this lasts.
Yep.
Let's see if this person's just a one-hit wonder. They're going to post 3 times and think it's going to blow up, and then I'm not going to hear from them anymore. So these are the reasons why you want to be consistent. You want to show people that, you're serious about what you're doing. You mean it, and you want it to grow and develop. And it's not just something that's going to be here for a short period of time. So consistency is key.
I love it. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Consistency is key.
And again, I would even just stress, like on this picture, how you need to be on multiple channels.
Yes.
Right. Everybody's not on YouTube.
Nope.
Everybody's not on X, formerly known as Twitter. Everybody's not on Clubhouse anymore. Notice how we transition from Clubhouse to the YouTube now. And we still are on Clubhouse. Like right now, there's a link in Clubhouse. And if I check it, let me see, there's 5 people there. So right now, if you're in Clubhouse and you only want to hear us audio, great. But if you want to see what we're doing and also to be interactive, click that link at the top and come on over to YouTube. But see what I mean by that? Even today, I'm simulcasting, if that's the right word, Shay.
That's correct.
I'm on YouTube right now. I'm on Instagram.
Yes.
I'm on Clubhouse. I'm on Facebook.
And I think you're on Twitter.
And I think I'm on X and another streaming to where they can only hear me. So see how we're getting this word out in multiple different ways, no different from your housing program. Because again, once you do this, even with the pictures that I'm showing you guys, and lucky for all of our ILF Mastery Blueprint members, we give y'all these pictures. This is how you're able to show people what you're talking about. So when you're offering this private room, because notice everything that we do just about is a shared living environment. What about the guy that says, you know what, I don't want to share a room, Derek? You got any private rooms? Absolutely, we do. And one of the greatest things is that, guys, you can show it. Now, I'll admit, guys, I'm not great at social media. I'm not very techy. And years ago, I was doing my own social media. But guess who does my social media to today? My virtual assistants and my team of people that are greater at this than I am. Here's just a few looks at my team. Danish is one of our developers, our web developers, so that when you guys want a website from us, I'm not building that. Neither is Shay. But Danish, he makes sure.
Shay might.
Now, Shay know how to do it. I'll put it this way, because I want y'all to make sure that Shay and I are separated.
Yeah.
Shay can actually do it. I can't. But to be honest, she's too busy to do that. That's what Danish is for. Alex is our lead generation specialist, but he's also in charge of our website creation business. April does a lot of the social media. So all of these things that you guys see me on all of these forums, April does all of that. But back to this right here, because what we're talking about today is how do we promote this? Using pictures, using social media, and some of y'all scared to get on that camera. You got to get on the camera too sometimes, guys. And they got other AI tools and things that can help you turn yourself into an avatar. But this is literally how I'm going to build this business, guys. I'm going to start an LLC. I'm going to name it something, Second Chance Solutions. Then I'm going to build relationships with social workers and case managers. I'm going to join Facebook groups. I'm going to post it on social media because that Facebook group thing, guys, that's genius. There's Facebook groups that are labeled social workers, case managers, homelessness. We rent rooms.
Listen, you play too much.
There's a lot of ways and people that you can be kind of partnering with. Because remember, we're talking about the Uber model today. Remember, Uber doesn't buy any cars. They leverage relationship. So I'm going to leverage social media, social workers, and case managers. And after this comment, I'm giving it back to Shay, and I'm jumping in the chat. So if you got questions, put them in the chat because I'm getting ready to do that. But one more time, guys, Uber does not buy cars. Airbnb as a business does not buy real estate. They lean on the everyday Joe to lend them the car, to lend them their house. And then there's an agreement that somebody gonna get paid in the process. Guys, that's what the HRA is. So if you want to house people and start your own housing program, you don't need the house. Somebody please send Angela Brooks a link. Angela and I spoke yesterday. I got it. I'll send it. And although Angela is an ILF Mastery Blueprint member, guess what's involved in her coaching though? The HRA, Business in a Box. Angela, well, I don't want to tell her story if she's here, but she's somebody that's making this work. Getting all of these appointments set up at hospitals, social workers, case managers, to hear her come and talk about her housing program. And today, Angela doesn't have one house, but yes, she does. You know why? Because she's leveraging relationship, y'all. Because I got a bunch of them. Shay got a bunch of them. Katara's got some in South Carolina. Tiffany's got some in Oklahoma. Dornico's got some in Dayton, Ohio. Because Shay, somebody right now is thinking, can I only be an HRA in my state where I live? Absolutely not. You can HRA in all 50 states. Because if you build a relationship with me today and Jess from Second Chance Housing, that's one relationship you got right there in Florida. But what if you meet Katara in the chat right now and she's in South Carolina? Or Neonta, or all of my people in Georgia? It's a bunch of y'all in Georgia, from Macon to Warner Robins to Atlanta, Stone Mountain, Gwinnett County, my Ohio people in Cleveland, Dayton, Ohio, Dornico, Tiffany's in Oklahoma City. You guys can build relationships today. So right now, no matter where you are, I hope you're in YouTube because we're all together here. Type in the chat what city and state you're in, and whether you have a house or whether you've been to HRA.
We got someone over here on Instagram.
Back over to you, Shay.
We got Instagram says, I'm in South Carolina. Fire.
They should be dropping. They should be connecting with Katara right now, who has an ILF, who needs the referrals.
Yeah. Let me tell you, Katara, I'm gonna tell on you real quick. So we house Katara's, we got to transition Katara's website over to the new platform, right? So I got this message yesterday, and it's because I still oversee Katara's website. And I saw something, Derek, I haven't even told you this. So a client literally sent Katara a message, and Katara, I hope you saw it, because if not, I'm telling on you. The client is a veteran, and the veteran says, "Listen, I'm currently in X, Y, and Z housing, but I love what you're doing in so many words. And I'm blabbering my mouth to anybody that will listen about your housing program." So Katara, if you have not seen that message in your the back end of your website, you need to go check it out. And that needs to be a print up. That's social media content.
Yeah.
Like, block out the information that needs to be blocked out, but that is social media content. When I saw that, this one, she said she saw it. Good. I saw it and I was like, what? This is awesome. So again, like, this is how you partner. This is right now, this room, when we come live on Saturday mornings, this is the prime opportunity, Derek, for HRAs.
Yeah. Saturday should be probably the most exciting for most people, because again, if you can't go out and buy a house or rent one, this is perfect.
Because we've got housing providers in here and we've got HRAs. So like Katara has a house. We have houses. Joanne's usually in here. You know, there's so many people that's usually up in these rooms that are looking for partnerships, right? Because one, they're full-time employees, as well as being on the, being the business owner and the entrepreneur. So again, listen, I love this conversation, Derek. I'm not even going to say anymore. Take it over. I see Angela just joined us in the studio.
Yeah, I want to pull her up because I want Angela to kind of give her experience of kind of what it looks like because when you guys hear us say it is one thing, but when you hear it from somebody that we've taught this to, that's going to probably or should mean a little bit more. So let's pay a cup of Bill Shay and we'll be right back.
You got it.
Hey, what's going on, family? I hope you guys are enjoying the content, but just in case if you arrived just a little bit after we started, we're literally discussing the HRA, which stands for Housing Referral Agency. There's a lot of people that want to get into what we do when it comes to housing the homeless, but they're not ready to buy a property or rent or lease one just yet. But with the HRA, it's going to allow you guys to still house the homeless, make an impact in your community, and make an income, and you don't need the property. The HRA is all about relationship. So literally, guys, prime example, even me, I have 5 beds available in Kissimmee, and I have 4 beds available in Orlando right now. You guys can begin to referring clients to me immediately, literally after learning this information. Let's get back to the show. All right, man. You guys heard, man, you heard the guy. When we're done here, make sure that you guys also check out that webinar, right? So at forstonconsultants.com/webinars, there's 2 webinars, right? One is the HRA. It's only 14 minutes long. It'll change your life and show you how you can house people, right? And you don't need real estate. So that's the exact topic that we talk about each and every Saturday. And then right here, guys, I still talk about blasting this everywhere. So consider getting a podcast, consider starting a YouTube channel, consider doing some of the things that most people wouldn't do, like going on Clubhouse and literally, again, just talking about who you are and what you do. You never know who's listening. Because I tell you right now, probably sometime between since we started and by the time we end, there'll be probably, 70 to 80 people that hear this message. But guess what? All week long, because this room is recorded, people are still watching it and still interacting with it. So how great if you started a Clubhouse room or a YouTube channel and all you talked about was your availability for all of these calls you get because you presented yourself to hospitals, social workers, and case managers that you're a housing provider. Imagine you announcing that every day, but you're speaking to real estate investors and people that rent rooms out, people that have ILFs, people that just simply say, Derek, I just rent rooms, bro. Call me if you got anybody need a place to stay and they got a guaranteed income, Derek. Guys, I have people like that. I have people that we refer to that have ILFs, ALFs, and we even refer to people that says, Derek, I don't have a program. You guys don't allow girlfriends and boyfriends. Derek, I don't care. If he got rent, send him to me. Derek, you guys don't allow y'all clients to drink beer and use drugs. Derek, I don't care. Send him to me. So if you've ever followed us or if you're new to us, we run our program, our housing program, more so like a program versus just this housing thing. Meaning there is no drugs and alcohol. They can't bring their significant others over to the house. No girlfriends, no boyfriends. Right? There's rules and there's structure. But what if you meet a guy that says, hey, man, I just rent rooms. So if you know somebody, let me know. Every one of you, after we're done here, should go to Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace. Look at all of those listings that say we rent rooms. Why not call that guy and build a relationship? That's your Uber ride. Remember the Uber concept?
Whoa.
Shay, the guy that's posted every day, we rent rooms. Shay, he's a real estate investor, Shay. He's buying houses, and Shay, he rent rooms. Why wouldn't you call him as an HRA or as a housing provider and say, hey, I noticed that you posted that you rent rooms. Guess what me and my company does? Right. We build relationships with hospitals, social workers, and case managers. So we get calls every day for people to have guaranteed income. Can I be a point of contact? Can me and you work together to take people from homeless to hopeful?
Yeah.
You keep buying property, I keep filling your empty beds.
Yep.
God, that's a relationship. That's Uber. Yep. That's Turo. Shay?
I love it.
I mean,
I'm just looking at some of the stuff in the
there's
chat.
some questions in the chat. I want to
chat.
knock out some questions.
You
real
go for
quick.
the chat. I'm gonna bring Angela up.
Let's do this.
So you go ahead, go for it.
I'm gonna start from the top. I want to make sure that I respect everybody that came in already. Let's see. And also, thank y'all for being here. Again, if you're new to us, we got a free gift for you. If you text the word new to 407-326-0086, you're going to get a free gift immediately. Again, text the word new, N-E-W, just the word new. Text it to 407-326-0086. And we're going to give you a free gift to further your education, just to say thank you for being here. We want you to share that gift with a family member or a friend or your pastor. Right here talks about creating that script. This means that if you got a virtual assistant, how do they know what to say? If I'm coaching you, how do you know what to say? Well, I'm going to give it to you. But if you don't have it, right, a part of that package with that HRA business in the box, we give you guys the script and we give you the virtual assistant. So remember we talked about that VA earlier at $5 an hour. Now you're still responsible for getting that, paying that VA that $5 an hour. But to gift you the VA, that's on us, and we're gonna give it to you. Versus you paying that $697 or that $997, we give you that as a free gift because we want you to be successful at it. Because we understand that most of y'all aren't good at social media and you don't have time to answer that phone each and every day because you got a job. Okay, Miss Angela, how you doing today? Here's Miss Angela.
Good morning, everybody. How are y'all
doing?
Doing good. Angela, I want to take these people down kind of a journey of what this looks like and what does it look like for a person that will move at the speed of instruction. Because literally all you did was listen to kind of what we're saying. Yeah. You do have the coaching though, right? Most people, Angela, don't have the advantage to pick up the phone and call me the way you do. Right. But just simply hearing today as I explained it, and I try to do a good job of not confusing people. In fact, this is a great time. If you're confused, type confused. But if you with me, I need 3 of y'all to just type make sense. Because Angela, I'm just trying to show people how you can take people from homeless to hopeful, but you don't need the property. Talk to them about what's happened to you this week as you're implementing a lot of this coaching. Take as long as you like, be as detailed as you like. Tell them where you're from, first of all, too, in terms of area.
Good morning, everybody. I am in Seminole County, Florida, which is outside of Orlando. I am actually about 45 minutes away from Derek and Shay. I actually live closer to the ocean. I'm only like 20 minutes from Daytona Beach. But where I live is actually a good spot just because, y'all, I'm going to take my glasses off because I can see myself. I live within an hour of about 5 counties. So as far as the ILF is concerned, that's a great area to be in. My county
is getting a little shaky.
Give me.
Hold on, Angela. On my end, it's getting a little shaky. Is it just me, guys?
Yep.
It's getting a little like spotty.
Right,
if it's me, I don't want to stop her if it's just me.
It looks like it's you, Derek.
Tiffany and Katara, let me know if Angela's still coming through clear, because if it's just me, then I'll just butt out. Angela, back on you.
Okay. So I live in the area of about 5 counties are within an hour drive time of me. What I do want to thank Derek and Shay for is, although we live close to each other, we didn't know it until we met out of state. We were both at an event where we met out of state. I had never heard of the ILF community, and I have been doing this less than a year. So I also want to tell people that too. I do not have a lot of practice in this. I had never heard of this concept before. But they always, always, always talk to us about putting God first and moving at the speed of instruction. So in the beginning, I thought, okay, so I'm going to get this IMB package and next week I'm going to have a house. And that's not what happened. That is
expectations, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I had all these expectations in my mind. The house was already put together. I was going to be this excellent resource to people who are in housing disparity. And then I realized, oh, wait, I need to do more work. So over the time of the coaching, I did realize I'm not in a position to buy a house right now or rent one, but I can still be able to house people through the HRA. And so that is what I do. Jess and I talk just about every day. And in the past couple of weeks, Jess is the virtual assistant. Well, Jess actually runs Second Chance Housing and the Denise Foundation. She acquired it less than a year ago, but Jess is a virtual assistant. She lives in the Philippines, so she lives 9,000 miles away from us, but she runs housing programs in the state of Florida.
My housing program specifically.
Yes. Yes.
We all love Jess.
But we talk just about every day. For me, I honestly, guys, I'm just going to keep it real. I have 2 jobs. My goal is to get a house. And so I have a full-time job, a part-time job, and God has given me businesses. So I'm out here grinding. But I do want to, if God has given you an assignment, it's not going to leave you until you do what he is calling you to do. Is it easy? No. Are you going to get disappointed? Yes. And are you going to hear a lot of no's? All the time. But you have to, like Shay was talking about earlier, you have to be consistent. I am what some consider a Canva queen. I don't really like being on camera, but I will create these lavish Canva posts and talk about my business and the Clarissa Project all the time. But Derek is right. Like, things did not start turning around for me until I started going live. And when I started going live, people were able to put a face with a name. I don't look like a bot. I don't sound like a bot. And I'm not trying to scam people because I say what I mean and I mean what I say. But also, people need to know that you're real, right? Everybody needs housing. Housing is needed no matter in what state, no matter what part of the country you live in. Every single state is having issues with housing. So people need to feel your heart. People need to know that you have a true concern. People buy you, the person, right? And so when these residents come, they are buying you. They're buying what you talk to them
so
about.
Good.
They're buying what you told them was going to happen. Prime example, I haven't even told Derek and Shay this. I had a girl call me yesterday. She's 23 years old and she's in her car. And she says, somebody forwarded your live to me and told me to listen and call you. And so I talked to the little girl yesterday. But what happened to me this week? I need y'all to know that consistency, along with
That's
prayer.
what Shay talked about.
Right. You also have to have, before you're consistent, you need your first thing on the consistent order is your consistent prayer. Have consistent prayer and have a plan, right? Because I know that God gave me this assignment, but I have honestly told him I don't know what to do. And so I keep praying about it. I keep asking him to give me direction, and I keep seeking the help from other people. I've talked to Janine before, like, listen, y'all, anybody who can help me, I'm reaching out, right? So I do what Derek and Shay talk about in the HRA meetings on Saturday. I think it was 2 or 3 Saturdays ago. I put myself in so many groups on Facebook that I got locked out of Facebook for a couple of days. I joined so many Facebook groups that Saturday that Facebook was like, "Nah, you sound like a scammer."
You got to sit down.
So I had to sit down for a little while. But, you know, I make plenty of calls. Like I told y'all, I have 2 jobs. I do not yet have my VA. They are coming, but I do not yet have a VA.
So just to be clear and that everybody understands it, you are not using the virtual assistant yet that was gifted to you. You're doing this on your own, even though you have a job.
Yes, I have 2. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Keep
yes.
going. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I schedule my day and I make calls before work. I make calls on my lunch hour, and I make calls.
Just to be clear, because I want people to really get this right, who are you making these calls to? Because somebody's saying she's making calls. Well, who's she calling?
So I call social workers, I call hospitals, and as of last week, I have started calling homeowners who have rentals that have been sitting vacant over a certain amount of days. In my mind, I'm starting with like 45 days. So I am doing my searches for houses for rent by owner. And I am contacting the owners and asking them, can we chat? Can I come see your house? As a matter of fact, I was late today because I went to Deltona to see a house this morning. So, and so I am calling social workers. I'm asking them, can they get on my programs? Typically, when I get the census about what's going on in the Angela Denise Foundation and what's going on in Second Chance Housing, I will do a live and I will talk about the need for it. I never tell people that I'm getting housing from 4 other businesses. I tell them that the Clarissa Project, which is the name of my housing project, has a need for housing. And that's what comes with partnership. As an HRA, if you do not have a house, everybody else's house is your house too. And so that's why it's important to form relationships with the other ILF owners so that you can see what they like. You can know what their census is. And when I say what their census is, you need to know what their bed count is. What is their available bed count? Do they only have room for women? Do they only have room for men? Are they co-ed? What is their pricing looking like? What are the types of people that they will house? What are the ages of people? Basically, what's their demographic of resident that they would like to have, so that you don't just send them somebody that they will not be able to help. As an HRA, it is very helpful if you can do some of the work for them on the front end to make sure that the person is being placed in the right situation. Anyone who goes through any of this, they're already in a desperate situation most of the time. And so you want to make it less convoluted as possible, as smooth as possible, so that they can have a good transition.
Well, you just preached the whole sermon.
I love it. I'm over here typing in the chat. I just typed in the chat. She's giving the game on how this works without having a property.
All the way. Yeah.
Now, I want to ask a question. Then I want to go back to Miss Angela, because on my end, a couple of times it broke up because of my signal. Yeah, I just want to make sure everybody else goes again, right? And I want to just make sure, because again, if it's only happening to me, no problem. I don't want you all to miss what she's saying though. So Joanne, Katara, Tiffany, Tina, let me know if y'all heard every word Angela said, because if not, I'm gonna have Angela repeat some of that stuff, because this is amazing how somebody today doesn't have a house, and she hadn't even got to it yet, I don't think, but she's got meetings set up all of next week and the week after that coming up with all of these social service providers to talk about the Clarissa Project, which I still don't think she even told you what that was yet. So somebody answer what I just asked y'all about. Did y'all hear every word of her? And then I'm going back to Angela.
Look at the screen there.
Perfect. Perfect. So that's only happening for me and Shay. And I love that. Perfect. Angela, back on you. Continue to talk about the relationships that are being built. And only if you're comfortable, talk about in terms of where you're going or what's planned. And you don't have to use the names of these places if you don't want to. But I just want to show people how this works. If you be consistent, which is what you led off with. Go ahead.
Yes. So I am in a lot of Facebook groups. Like I stated earlier, I cannot go live in those Facebook groups, but on my personal pages, I go live and I talk about my housing program, which is my independent living facility, which is called the Clarissa Project. And so I talk about that on live on a regular basis and talk about bed counts and talk about the need for closing the housing disparity in the state of Florida, in the Central Florida area. I talk about that on a regular basis. I post about it. I put my Canva flyers up. When you are posting in social media, especially on Facebook in these groups, you need to understand the schedule. You cannot just go in there and start plastering stuff in there. You need to thank them for being in the group. Welcome, let them welcome you. Also, comment on a couple of things and then start telling people who you are, how great you are, what you do. But this week, and I just have to say it, I'm super excited. So I sound really giddy. It's because I am. I'm so excited about it. So this week, somebody watched a live. There was a social worker that watched a live that I did. And she was
Come
like,
on, social worker.
Yes. She said, oh, I need to contact her. And then the time went on and she never contacted me. But I posted in a group on Facebook for social workers in Orlando. That post reminded her, okay, this is the lady that I needed to call. So she called me and she asked me to come and speak to her team about what the Clarissa Project is and how we can work together for housing. And in the details, okay, go ahead, Derek.
I want to just make one point because somebody's thinking right now, did she tell them people that she don't have no house? Angela, can you tell these people that you never said, well, I don't really have the house, but I'm going to try to, did that even come up?
No. Honestly, I tell people I have multiple houses. I tell people I have multiple houses. Because I have relationships with other people who have houses. I have talked to a couple people this week, but back to the lady who asked me to come and speak. I said, okay, so tell me how many case managers you think will be there. And I told them, I said, I have a busy schedule. I didn't tell them that I have a job. I said, I have a busy schedule. And so we would need to arrange it based off the time, preferably when you all have team meetings. And then that's when the person told me that they have. You broke up, Derek.
Right? So she's dropping so many gems that most of y'all won't even catch them because you think I'm not saying it. God, she's taking the coaching. So everything that
we're breaking up.
And I'm not sure if she's speaking to me now.
We're breaking up.
Then.
Yeah, keep going, Angela, because we're having, I don't know what just happened in our area, but our
something's going on. Really weird. But as long as they can hear Angela, she can just keep going. Because if I'm breaking up, no problem. Keep going, Angela.
Okay. So I asked when would be a good time for me to come and speak to the team, and approximately how many people were going to be there, because I needed to bring coffee and donuts. So I needed to get my Dunkin' Donuts order ready if I was going to be speaking to a team of people. And that led to, this is going to be a Zoom because we have case managers all over the state and we don't work out of an office post-COVID. So this company has all of their case managers working from home. And so I am putting together a PowerPoint to be able to present to them about who the Clarissa Project is what these houses look like. And I'm telling y'all will probably see me on all of y'all pages because I'm taking pictures from y'all pages because I don't have a house yet. So your houses are my houses.
Right. And
And remember, we
warranted.
give that stuff to you
Right.
too, right? So, in
Yes,
fact,
and
I
I
think
do have
Friday
what
you
you
should have
sent
got a
to me.
Google Drive.
Yes, yes,
Perfect.
I got it. I got it. I
Perfect.
got what you sent to me.
Oh, and just in case if you don't know what we're talking about, guys, as an ILF Master Blueprint member, she has the right to all of my pictures,
Right.
hundreds of pictures, so that she's able to show people the concept of what it looks like. Back on you, Angela.
And yesterday was International Women's Day, and I took off yesterday to do some work in the field. So that was the first meeting that we're going to have next week. No, I'm sorry, towards the end of the month, we're going to meet with the social workers from that healthcare community. And we're going to start.
How many social workers and case managers would be in that one room?
So there's going to be 15 case managers as of our last conversation. She did tell me that if there are more than 15, then she will let me know, because I did ask to make sure that I can facilitate and make sure I can get everybody. The next meeting that I had was yesterday. I met with a community partner. This community partner actually, they do a lot of mobile things. They have a mobile laundromat for the homeless in Orlando. They also have a mobile shower unit from the homeless in Orlando. But they took me yesterday on a tour of their building facility. So I was able to meet with the case management team. I was able to meet with the barbers that were giving free haircuts yesterday. They partnered with another community member, the Christian Service Center. So I was able to volunteer for a little while, handing out food to the homeless. But I spent a good amount of time with their case management team, just talking to them about what the Clarissa Project is, who we are, what type of homes that we have, why we are different. It's very important because the ILF, or the independent living facility model, is different to a lot of people. You have to be able to speak the difference, right? You have to be able to verbalize why you stand out, because there are a lot of group homes, there are a lot of rooming houses, there are a lot of people, like Roomies is a website that just posts shared living. So there's lots of places where shared living is available to other people. But you as the HRA, or you as the ILF owner, need to be able to verbalize your program. You can't just come up in here doing anything and everything, because you will get kicked out. We do not try to kick you back out on the street, but you can go somewhere. You just got to get out of here. And you have to be able to verbalize that to people. For me, my cadence is always to ask God to speak through me. I don't always have the words. Derek and Shay know I will call them in a minute, and so I will call them and ask them multiple questions. I'll text them questions that I'm thinking along the way, or when something happens. But I ask God to speak through me, give me what in this case, the audience needs. So yesterday I toured a facility in Orlando and was able to do some community service, as well as to sit down and talk with their therapist. I thought that was honest. I thought that was great that the therapist took time to spend a little bit of time with me to talk to me, not giving information, but a general idea about some of the people that come there.
I'm texting Tiffany right now. She says Angela's coming through really clear, but we're not.
Also spending time with the case management team to find out what their needs are. So just like I talked to, Jess about the needs of second chance housing for Derek, and the Angela Denise Foundation for Shay, I talked to these case managers to see, because you need to learn what your community needs, right? You can say all day, I only want to serve this group, I only want to serve that group.
Yeah.
But you need to learn what your community needs, because if you're stuck on, I just want this type of person, you could be stuck with an empty house. And so that is not
Exactly.
the point we want to make. The point is to get people from, as Derek said, homeless to hopeful. So we want to be able to place people in housing, in safe environments, in home environments. So these houses, if you're new to the channel, these houses look just like your house. They don't look like somebody's house, as Derek and Shay would say, in the hills. They don't look like houses in the heights. But that house that's on the screen right now, or even that house, these are very common Florida houses. And so they look like any other house. They have the stuff in them as any other house. Trailers are very popular here because it's just easier to have the space, right? And so it's just very popular to have those type of houses. But your point is to make sure that people are safe and people are going to get the needs that they need. And when you talk to a case manager, I don't know if I'm saying too much, y'all gotta tell me to stop.
No,
When
you're
you
good, Angela.
Okay, when you talk to a case manager, you need to let them know, as the case manager, that they are free to come and drop in. Like, let them know, we
Yes.
want
Yes.
you to come and see this house. We want you to come and do your one-on-ones with your resident, well, their patient, your resident at the house. We want you to see where they are living. We want you to invite your whole team to come and see where they're living. We want you to invite
Correct.
your management team. We want you to see why we are different. And
That's
so I had those 2 meetings with the healthcare organization. She saw, okay, so just to backtrack, I had the 2 meetings this week. One of them saw my live and then saw my post on Facebook, and we created a meeting to talk to. Currently, I'm going to talk to 15 caseworkers on the 29th. I'll
And when
appreciate
you
all
say
y'all.
meeting, Angela, will that be an in-person meeting, or do they want you to actually come to the facility?
Well, I asked to come to the facility, but this particular healthcare organization, all of their case management team works from home post COVID. So we're going to be doing it via Zoom.
okay.
And you found this information out because you called them, is that correct? Or back
That
to
is
them
correct.
seeing that social media post?
Yes. Yes.
So again, I
So
want to,
she initially called me and I called
okay,
her back.
okay. And that's the point that I want to make while I'm still kind of clear, I think, is that, guys, none of this happens without Angela moving at the speed of instruction. And that's what we call this, right? So when you guys are getting this teaching, don't just sit on it. One thing that Angela for is that when she gets this information, she's always writing stuff down. So every time we're talking, I can hear her pen scratching that paper, or she's typing something as we're speaking. And she said, "Hey, Derek, can you repeat that last one? Because I'm writing it down." That's very important. And to me, that's always somebody that's going to be great at this, people that move at the speed of instruction. And as you see, she's also not afraid to talk to people. Some of you all are afraid to get in front of people to present what you have. That could be a detriment to you, right? Shay is offering some great living, right? We're offering some great bed accommodations. Look at these pictures. Why should you be afraid to talk about it? So again, if you just joined us, we're teaching you, and Angela is showing you how she's going to be housing people and how I'm going to be dependent upon Angela. Look how this works now. Angela right now, almost between her and God, are holding a decision. Does Shay go out and buy another house, or does Shay go out and rent another house to keep it going? Angela is a part of that, because Angela blows these 2 meetings out the water, which she will.
Derek and Shay, y'all breaking up on my end.
There, not capturing it. So let's shut it down. Angela, I know you probably hear us. And nobody else can probably hear us, but we're going to go ahead and shut down this conversation for today. Join us back here. I know everything keeps freezing up, so join us back here on Monday. for our ILF family and also our HRA family, we'll throw something together where we can come in and really sit down and with Angela and get some more of this information. But for the rest of you all, join us back here on Monday night at 6 p.m. Eastern. We'll be in daylight savings time by then, but Eastern time. And let's talk a little bit more about this process that Angela is going through. We'll also have Angela come back and discuss with us her the outcomes. So with that, if you are new to us, again, don't forget to go ahead and text the word new to 407-326-0086. We would love for you to watch our free webinar as well as schedule your free strategy call. We want to get on the phone with you. We want to see what your ideas are, what your plans are, and help guide you to that. I really hate that we had
know,
this
man,
issue
because we're rolling too.
and it was
and
initially
Tiffany's actually texting me back and forth. Now Tiffany can hear you loud and clear.
right.
Yeah.
But when I start speaking and it starts spinning,
Yep.
it goes off.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna table this conversation because this is a great conversation, and I would hate for you all to miss this. Let's come back together on Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern, right here in Forston Consultants on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook. Let's continue this conversation with Miss Angela, and there will be a replay. I don't know how stable the replay will be.
Yeah, the replay may not also catch it, so but you guys can try.
Though. I think they have that internal feature that it may buffer it. So we'll see. Check the replay. If it's not, let us know if the replay is not stable as well, and we'll pull it down or have to chop it up and use it for content. But
and also, if anybody wants this same information, you can still go to YouTube and click the tab that says live. We go live every Saturday, and this is what we talk about. Today was just super good because we had Angela actually telling the story of her doing this thing that we're talking about. So what we'll do, Angela, we'll bring this back up because I feel super incomplete right now. There's a feeling in my chest that I even may go live tomorrow just to finish this. But nevertheless, we go live every Monday at 6 p.m. Oh, there.
So we'll continue.
We'll pick up on the HRA when we come back Monday. Angela, I'm gonna let you bless us and close us out because I think they can hear you, Angela. So, Angela, if you can do me a favor and give us a salutation, close us out, but repeat just a little bit some of the things of how they can join us or find out about this HRA, and then we'll rejoin this thing Monday at 6. Yeah.
Okay. If you would like, if you are new, please type new to 407-326-0086. They have a gift for you. So again, if you are new here, you've never heard about the ILF concept, you don't know what independent living is, please type the word new. We'll text it to 407-326-0086. Every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern time, Forston Consultants comes on along with us and you. Thank you for being here to tell us and show us how to house the homeless without the need for a license, without even owning a house, and how to do this. Every Monday, we typically talk about virtual assistants and how they are the cheat code to your business. That is Mondays at 6 p.m. Eastern time. And then on Tuesday is honestly one of my favorite days. So Tuesdays, we talk about, I think I just mixed up the days, but I'm not sure, y'all. I'm sorry. Tuesday,
yes, you got it. Yeah, switch them back. So Monday.
Okay, so Monday, we are going to
couple of these days, right?
Monday, we talk about housing and how you can get started in the housing community and how you can be an independent living facility owner and how you don't have to own a house, you don't have to rent the house, and you can actually start with technically almost $0. Saturday is the way that we talk about the housing referral agency and how, whether you own a house or not, how you can get into this and be able to house the homeless or the housing despaired. And on Tuesdays is when we talk about virtual assistants and how Forston Consultants and a lot of other people use virtual assistants in their businesses and how they are the cheat code to be able to get what you don't necessarily have time to do in your business done as an entrepreneur. So that is what happens. And if you guys have any questions, even though we are ending this, please put your questions down in the live. They love questions. They'll get back to you. Can you go back to the QR codes? If you don't mind, please, if you have questions about this, please go watch the webinars. You can watch the webinars here, and you can also, from the webinars, you can schedule your free call with them to talk about what your plans are, what your prayers are, and so they can talk to you about how you can get started. And on that note, we will see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. We can see you also, we will see you Monday. In my mind, it's already gone. Monday at 6 p.m. We'll see you guys again. Tuesday at 6 p.m. We'll see you guys again. And of course, on Saturday at 10 a.m., we'll see you guys again. All these times are Eastern time, but if you are watching us on YouTube, you can watch the replay at any time. So we thank you, and I'm going to, Derek, it's time to close. So
time to close. And we're out of here. Sorry for all the technical stuff, but guys, we're out of here. And Angela, thank you so much for doing that. We appreciate y'all, and we'll see y'all Monday, 6 p.m. Eastern. You guys be great. Hey, what's going on, family? Have you ever imagined starting your own housing program? That's probably why you're here. And if you're looking for one-on-one coaching, like you're kind of getting right now, but in a more of a one-on-one setting, just you and I, that's our ILF Mastery Blueprint. There's a number that they're scrolling below on this screen right now. If you text the word scholarship to that phone number, my team is going to get you some information. So first of all, I'm going to say congratulations and thank you for moving at the speed of instruction.